The Opportunity Project is a project where you seek a flaw or a gap in something and find a potential solution for the existing problem. Once we generated our groups, we started the project by conducting a brainstorm map which expanded on topics that everyone in our group was interested in and eventually concluded that we are all interested in art. From our brainstorm map, we narrowed our ideas toward an art form that's less appreciated and underdeveloped compared to other art forms, and that is urban art. So in order to gain information about graffiti, we constructed our AEIOU charts. Our team observed areas with a high concentration of urban art and made deductions based off the things we saw. At 5th and Cecil B. Moore, we found that having an area that allows for graffiti added an element of beauty to these neighborhoods. In Manayunk, we found that street art can be utilized in a mural-like form to beautify a town and even explain a brief history. Under the Wissahickon Bridge, we found that graffiti artists are usually subjected to places no one can appreciate their art. And from speaking to a graffiti artist, we determined that graffiti is usually done as a hobby and the artists earn no compensation for their works.
Upon visiting these places and conducting research about urban art's various pain points, we each came up with about 3 actionable insights. These varied from ways street art could be used to stop vandalism and fight crime to how it could help children in problem neighborhoods. Eventually, we decided that we wanted to focus on beautifying an area to create money flow to the artists in the community. So the actionable insight that we came up with was how can street art be used to generate businesses that benefits the community and the artist. In order to generate ideas for our actionable insight, our team utilized the creative matrix to brainstorm potential solutions for said observed pain point. After we did our creative matrix, we picked out our favorite ideas that came from it and conducted surveys among students and faculty to determine which one of our ideas was most favorable and worth moving forward with.
Basically, we used surveys and stakeholder maps to narrow our ideas, and then we began prototyping options. The first round of prototypes were very unique. They included governmentally funded street art for communities, a TV show, and a Philly Youth Scholarship option. After getting feedback, we then moved to our second round of prototyping, the revisions. In the revision portion, we took feedback from other groups and our professors, and found that some of our ideas could mold together to form one great idea. We then narrowed it down to 2 ideas, a TV show about street art and a scholarship option to Philly U to a student who would work to decorate the campus. From that point forward, we continued to gain feedback and we decided to go with a Philly U-based idea because it was more applicable to what's around us. When thinking about the scholarship idea, we were having problems coming up with where the funds would come from. We decided at first that this would be a club, then we still ran into problems coming up with scholarship money. Dues could cover it, but that would become expensive for the student. We then decided that making a class would cover a portion of the cost. Some of the cost of the credits would be able to cover a scholarship, about $1,000, so that just left us with the cost of supplies. Usually in classes when students need supplies, they are required to purchase them themselves, so the students will be responsible for the supplies.
Supplies was then another red flag. How exactly were we going to execute this idea? What supplies would we need? We could use the traditional paint and spray paint option, but that's very permanent and could lead to a possibility of a dangerous execution. So we did some research and decided that a vinyl option would be the best. That way the street art would be able to be removed after a certain period of time. Vinyl was also not as expensive overall as supplies would be. For example, if we bought the vinyl from FedEx, we would have an indoor-outdoor option, and it would also cost only about $10 a square foot. The students could all split the cost of the art or fundraise in order to come up with the money. In order to make the idea more viable, we prototyped the idea of what our campus could look like with street art adorning the walls of our classroom buildings. Along with showing students and faculty this prototype, we also conducted more surveys to determine what a class on urban art can bring to our students, faculty, and campus. From our surveys, we found the majority of students would be interested in a class versus a club, centered on urban art design, history, and culture. And they felt that this class could add a new element of beauty and a new attitude to the campus. This would also generate more publicity and business to Philly U, which would lead to more applicants and overall money for the school. To sum it all up, we decided the best way to create a business with street artists and the community would be to create a college course for design students with a scholarship incentive, thus creating business for the artists, who would be the students, and the surrounding community, which is Philly U.